Oh, that was a good one.
We're back. Power's back.
The power's back. We're back.
The boys are back.
Everybody's back but NYCFC.
Yep, still knocked out.
Yep. We're not getting back for
and we
a
don't
couple
deserve,
of weeks.
We don't deserve to be beyond where we went.
Yeah, so let's wrap up this awful game. Let's get through that tough part of the recording. You want to take it?
I mean, I said going into that game two things. I think I said way more than two things, but I said that as long as we play with intensity and we actually look like we care, then I don't care what the result is. We're there, it's free soccer. It really, we weren't supposed to be there, but I don't feel like I got that from the team. I didn't really see any fight. I don't want it to make like an
episode
another
one
doom and gloom type of episode, but I mean, I didn't see it. It didn't seem like the players were fighting. Outside of a super soft penalty, I saw nothing from the attackers that really put any pressure on Portland. So, plus the one thing that I said the defense can't do, they did all game, literally all game.
It's true.
Allowing them to play wide, which suits them, and ball washing when that happens. So we lost, and that's what is expected when we play like that.
Yeah, I had thought that, for the very early portions of the game, that we probably played our best as opposed to the rest of the game. I think that the pen coming so early and putting us up, I think put us at ease to a point where it made us hurt ourselves because of that. I feel like once we got that goal, that the boys probably felt like, we're good. Let's kind of wait this one out and get this 1-0 victory and move on. Clearly that's not what happened, and that was never going to happen based on how we came onto the pitch and played. But it was sort of just, we had a lot of possession and we had a lot of complete passes, but none of it really amounted to anything. And there weren't too many, solid chances going into the box either. So seems like once again finishing is something that we need to work on.
Tactically, it just didn't look.
It wasn't the Toronto game.
No, again, It was back to what is Ronnie ball. I tweeted out that night. It's boring. It's boring to watch.
Yeah.
It's not fun. Even before we scored, and after, it just was like, are we watching Jose Mourinho? Are we defending? Are we attacking? Are we just playing possession? It seems to be a mess, and clearly he's not getting in their heads to, inspire them, because outside of that Toronto game, we've seen literally nothing from Ronnie.
Right.
I mean, and we're both part of the hype that came with the Toronto game, but we didn't see it again, and we didn't see even a flash of it. Not even, Ronnie coming out at halftime saying, "Look, we're up 1-0. Let's pressure them for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Try to get another goal." Nothing. So I don't know. I don't know how I stand on the Ronnie deal.
I mean, we're clearly keeping him, maybe not through phase one, but we're at least probably going to see him for another game or two minimum. I can't imagine us losing those first two games and him being our manager still.
I don't see us losing or a draw at Red Bulls. I don't see how you survive that with this fan base. It just doesn't seem like it's going to exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a thing that's going to happen. Especially playing a home away game at Red Bulls.
Yep, we're back to the
back to the mixer.
The home games at Red Bull.
Back to the nomad life.
Yep.
It's a lot of disappointment in the past week. So in a sense, I'm kind of happy that our power went out, because the mentality after that game, if you had caught us after that game, the days after, it was rough.
Well, by design, we didn't record right after the game because the episode just would have,
would have been worse than doom and gloom.
Yeah, it just would have been the most down episode that we've had by far. And then we had plans to record, and the storm just took our power out for I don't even know, it was 3 or 4 days.
It was a long time.
So that, I think, was, like you said, was probably a good thing, because it gave us some time to collect thoughts and sort of look into the future now that we know that there's a phase 1 too, because we would have recorded before we knew about that.
Yeah.
So
which would have been super. I would have been at that time. I was so sad because I know we've mentioned it before.
Yeah.
It's just like if we lose the game, that's one thing, but dealing with the fact of when are we going to see this team again?
Mm-hmm.
When are we going to get the chance to see them succeed? Like that date at that moment was unknown.
Yeah, it could have been. I was thinking 2 to 3 months probably, like
At
minimum.
least.
Like I actually can't believe that we're playing again in 2 weeks. That just seems wild to me.
I don't see a world where phase 2 or 3 like, not that it won't happen.
Yeah.
But that it happens with even limited fans or
There's
watch parties or anything like
it's
that.
just us and the Red Bulls in Toronto sharing RBA with no fans. Like other teams are having fans.
Well, yeah,
limited,
because
but
New York is.
yeah, it's
part
sort of the hotbed.
It's part of 3 states that are completely locked down.
That's true.
And we're not. You're not allowing any of that.
Yep.
But
there
outside of that, Hartford Athletic is doing it. They're
Yep.
allowing limited.
Yeah,
seating.
they canceled a game the other day too because I can't remember who it was against. It was against Bethlehem, I think. Yeah, and somebody in their club had gotten contracted, or a couple people contracted the virus, and they were like, "Yeah, you guys aren't coming to Connecticut anymore."
Yeah.
So, sort of worked out well that way. But they've contained it fine with limited fans. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm excited. The next chance we get to go to a Hartford Athletic game,
we're there.
we're 100% hopping on it.
absolutely.
We're going to go to the game. I forgot the exact date, but it started raining, and we were trying to deal with that, like trying to avoid COVID and
And the rain at the same time.
I'll pass. We'll go to the next one. But those boys look hot. They're not slowing down at all.
No. Well, so that's probably one thing that we should talk about too is, well, one thing that we discussed through the ups and downs, well, mostly the downs after that Portland game was, okay, so we might not see NYCFC play again for 2 to 3 months. What is our plans with this? So we kind of made the decision before phase 1, before we knew phase 1 existed, that we would start spending a little bit more time with Hartford Athletic and really, learning the squad like we do with, I mean, we could name every depth player that NYCFC has. So we sort of want to,
why they're good or why they're bad.
Yeah, and what they've done in the past and what we expect them to do in the future, like the management, all types of things like that. So we sort of decided before we knew about phase 1 of the MLS that we wanted to dive that deep on Hartford Athletic. So we found out about phase 1, so we're definitely, I mean, that's the priority for sure is New York City, but we are still planning to do, a deeper dive moving into the future on Hartford Athletic games, and partly because they're our club and we love them, and also because we got so much love actually in like the Hartford Athletic clip that we had posted, and then the episode with that clip in it. Like we got a lot of love from the Hartford Athletic Reddit, even the club on Twitter. So we could see that this is a community that's probably looking for, somebody to stand out and somebody to speak about the team, because I don't think they really have anybody that's doing it. There might be, I've seen like one guy throwing around clips from a specific podcast, but definitely nothing dedicated to them. And I mean, they deserve it, definitely, especially with the form that they've been in. They deserve a little bit of attention, so somebody's got to show them some love. So we're here to do that.
I'm with it.
Yeah,
we're here for it, and we're down to.
And we could go to the games so easily.
Exactly, it's right at 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's in our backyard. So
I'm very excited. That coach over there has completely changed that club.
Yeah,
I remember our grandfather was like, "Hey, they have a club. They have a club up there. But
yeah.
What are they doing there? Awful." Because they kind of were just thrown in.
Yep.
As an expansion team and whatever, but they've really hit the ground running this year.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
No, just super excited. I'm just super excited to watch them.
Yeah,
have a team to actually watch.
Yeah, and definitely to dive deep into it, because even with phase 1, like they have, I mean, between the first 3 or 4 phase 1 games, they also have like 4 games sprinkled in there. So I mean, you can't complain about having like 4 soccer games in 5 days to watch, especially if you're really fully in on the team like we are with Hartford now. So it's gonna be quite a couple weeks coming up.
8:30, the final. What are you thinking? I'll say
it's Minnesota, Portland, right?
No.
Oh no,
Orlando,
Minnesota's
Portland.
out. Okay, see,
Yeah.
this is the level.
I didn't
of,
watch. We didn't watch. We were too sad to watch.
This is the level of disassociation that I've subscribed to willingly because I don't want to know an MLS that doesn't have us in it, but also forcefully because of the power.
Well, silver lining, they're both teams that beat us, so we can claim.
Yeah,
we can claim no matter what, we lost to the champion.
Yeah,
we lost to the winner.
That's true.
No matter what, and fun fact, I think there was there could have been expansion teams on both sides of the finals had we not been so.
That's true.
Poor.
From the same year too.
From the same year.
Yep.
And our group dominated. What was it? How many teams was it?
3 out of 4 of the quarterfinals.
Yeah, three out of the 4 group of our
brackets.
Group were in the quarterfinals. So you, like you were saying, you could say it was a group of death.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a group of death for sure. Well, maybe going into it, it definitely didn't seem to be that way. But then I guess we didn't realize the level that some of these teams were going to come in playing as. So I think for the finals that I like Orlando. And maybe that's just because Portland has inflicted the most recent wound on us. But, man, Nani is playing like a savage. It just seems like they have it in them to maybe go all the way, and it's even better that they're doing it in their own state. So I guess in the end that helped them in a way, even though there's no fans.
I don't know about all this, man. I don't know. It just seems a little fishy to me. Doesn't it seem weird?
It's a little
Orlando
weird.
Goes from like
I
there
will
was some
say
crazy stat in the beginning that they hadn't won in like 17 or 18 game weeks, and then they come in and they go to the final. It seems a little fishy.
I'll say
happening in Florida.
One thing that was incredibly fishy were some of the fouls that were called against us, or not called for us when we played Orlando. I'll say that. I'm just saying that's fishy.
We were horrible. I would say we, outside of that Toronto game,
that's the worst we were.
We were horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But those refs, and it seems like the commentary, everybody just has this agenda to beat us down, and I don't get it. I've never understood it. But you listen to the commentary, and I'm getting mad because I'm like, okay, I can say these things about NYCFC. I bleed blue. You can't, Mr. Man on the television. Mr. Commentator. Yeah,
there was an agenda against us, no doubt.
You weren't there in 2015. Don't talk like you were there.
You weren't there last year at that playoff game either. Like
you weren't at that. Like you weren't there.
No, so you don't get to dog them like we do.
Especially on national television. Man.
Yeah.
Just the agenda
to the expanded audiences of COVID audiences.
I never want to hear Alexi Lawless talk about
well, that's beside
MLS ever
soccer.
Again.
I mean,
just stop talking.
Get him out of here.
The only reason I'm not actually looking at the camera. I don't even care if we edit this out. The only reason Alexi Lawless is a legend is because he played for the United States. If he was any other nationality, he would not have made the team.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say because he went the crazy hair route with the beard and the hair. But
No. Literally, because he was American.
Yep. And America was bad.
And they were bad, and he was decent.
Yeah, he was one of the shining stars out of the decent stars.
A club legend at Southampton or some low-level Premier League team.
And be better.
Congrats. Put a bow on it.
Anyways.
And stop talking about MLS.
Anyways, I don't think the MLS agrees, but that's cool because this is somewhere where we can't break bread with you, MLS. We can't come to any terms where we're going to be on level ground when it comes to the Alexi Lawless situation.
No.
This has been brewing for years. It's been years.
Look, if we had an opportunity to talk to him about it and ask him why he's done or said some of the things that he's done, then I would definitely talk to him about it.
On God, I can't imagine a situation where we speak to him like physically, like that would be, or even over any type of call. That's wild to me.
I would not budge. I wouldn't just switch up. Like genuinely, I don't think he knows what he's talking about, and I don't think he had the United States best interest in mind when he started chewing out the players.
Yeah, that was
going at the head. Like, yes, it was a mess and it was bad, but we were one step away from getting something done, and that's when you choose. That exact rant is perfect.
Yep.
After we don't qualify.
After we fall out, yeah.
After we don't qualify, that's perfect.
Yep.
Going into a do or die situation, you're gonna put the players down like that. It just, and from somebody, a player that they all look up to.
Yep.
Is disgusting, and that's why I'll never respect him.
So that's the root of our animosity. Just that Alexi Lalas, when he went on air and he talked all that mess about our young Americans trying to get just into a World Cup, some of them for the first time, that's the root of our animosity towards him right there.
Anyway,
so
moving on.
Probably less on that, but
moving on. Red Bulls NYCFC, August 20th. In Red Bull Arena.
Wish we could be there
more
more
than
than
anything. Or
anything.
is it an away game?
It's
Who
considered
knows?
away for us.
Okay, well that's interesting because
it's our home.
Because they could have just said that it was our home game.
Now it's our home.
They could have just said it.
Yeah.
And nothing would change if they had just said NYCFC is at home.
We get to wear the away Gotham kits, so it'll be
Wait,
pretty
so I
at
wonder,
least.
if they would have switched it.
What do you mean?
Like if the schedule called for us to have a home game, but we had to play that
Red Bull away.
If they would make them away, probably not.
Probably not, dude.
I mean,
we know the agenda.
They're not spending the money to make our stadiums suitable for cameras. Then they're definitely not going to go the extra step to do that.
Well, that was what I thought was one of the best solutions, was to allow us to just play at our training turf, whatever. Like, why not?
There's no fans.
We got like 3 cameras to set up total.
Yeah, it just.
But maybe we don't have, and this is a little transition, maybe we don't have the money to spend on cameras because we don't even have the money to spend on a defense. And that is one of probably the most important notes that I wrote down before this, is that when or is it time to spend on a defense? Like, it seems like it's time.
You're tired of buying attackers all the time? Like, you're tired of having 20 attackers?
Yeah.
And then kids who are attackers?
Yeah. I think
4 goalkeepers?
I mean, but if you look at our 18, I mean, 3/4 of it has to be attackers, right? I mean, in a defensive situation where you have to sub in 3 defenders, I can't think of 3 worth the time of day to put on the pitch. Yeah, that's probably the only one.
That's the only.
That has to be the only one.
Think of.
If Acevedo is going to be a little more defensive minded, but I mean, he's not a center back. He's not.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not a true defender. Yeah. So it's probably time to spend on a defense, and I don't know, maybe I just thought of this. They're a little bit scared to spend because our last investment is Matrita.
Gotta sell him.
Yeah, that sums it up. Got to.
Gotta sell him.
I mean, you have to just bite the bullet on that one.
Have to sell him.
Yeah, I mean, for half as much, that's fine, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so positive that he's a great man.
Yep.
Great human. Maybe he doesn't work out in Ronnie's system.
Yeah.
He had flashes under Dome, but it's not working out right now.
No.
And we have to start thinking of ways to turn this thing around, because as it stands, where are we? Well, this isn't showing this is showing the tournament, so I have no idea where we stand in the actual
in the league
MLS league standings, but it can't be great.
Well, we have 1 win out of 6 games, right? Or 5 games.
Yeah, because
the 2 before the season. Well, quarterfinal didn't count. Yeah. So 1 win. We have 1 win and 4 L's.
Yeah,
so, I mean, 3 points in 5 games is almost as bad as it gets. Just have to be better and have to. I mean, I think it's time bringing in new players is part of the solution.
I think I love Matarrita, and I think he's very, very good 75% of the time. But that 25% cost us so much.
Yeah.
It was Matt that was saying, what is our left side? This left side, there's nothing happening over there, which was a pair of Matrica and Matarrita. There was nothing coming there.
And
they were just, Portland was literally saying, oh, the left side is wide open. I don't care.
Yeah.
We're just gonna watch the right side because that's where the danger comes from.
Yeah.
Absolutely no danger at all. They can't create anything from that side, and so I think Matarrita doesn't need to get replaced yet. But I definitely think he needs somebody like he needed a Ben Sweat behind him, chomping at his feet, saying, "Hey, I want to play too." He needs something like that.
And he probably needs somebody in place of Matarrita up top. That, I mean, Matarrita doesn't really track back. He doesn't cover if Mott's pushes up the field, and Mott's probably is aware of this too. So you're now, I mean, aside from Matarrita taking himself out of the game, he's now taking another attacking threat out of the game, or somebody that can cut into the midfield. Like, we've seen Mott's pop ones before. We've seen him pop goals. We've seen him, I mean, he gets assists, but if he's being, kind of pigeonholed to stay in his back left quadrant because he's not going to get picked up, and then you see what you saw in that game is Tinnerholm, Medina, and was it Mackay up top on the right to start?
Mackay, he floated.
Yeah.
I think Medina
But
started at number 10 and Mackay was
Yeah.
out right. But I think, I don't know, Ronnie just seemed to have it all wrong. I felt like Mackay needed to be on the left, Matarrita needed to be on the right, so that because Tinnerholm is better at tracking back than Matarrita is.
Yeah.
So Tinnerholm going up seems safer with Matarrita than it does the other way around. And Mackay clearly with the left foot is going to be better to get service in.
Right.
It just seemed like the whole thing was backwards.
So it seems like the pieces are there, but they're not in the right places. But yeah, it was all up the right side, and unfortunately wasn't enough to get some goals. But
I mean, Tinnerholm had a great game. I felt like if there's anybody that in that game that truly showed that they care, beyond people just flying into challenges, it was Tinnerholm.
Yeah, well, it's always Tinnerholm too that cares. He has that Tati trait in him.
Yeah.
You see him screaming and throwing fits on the field all the time for the team. But that sort of leads to the Player of the Month poll that NYCFC put up. So the options were Tinnerholm, Sands, and Medina. So I think our first reaction when we saw this was, well, if we have to pick between those three, I said Sands. I think you might have thought Medina, but we're sort of picking like the lesser of three evils, no matter what, because the team just didn't perform. So who really cares who the Player of the Month was?
I don't know why they put that.
Yeah, it's sort of pointless. I mean, why not even just call it Player of the Tournament? Is what I thought.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean month? But our first thought, if we're stuck within these choices, then those are our choices. But we thought, well, what about people outside of these choices? Because clearly, I mean, there was an argument for Tati playing probably his best soccer that he's played for us, I would say.
Unlucky to not score way
a
more
lot
goals.
more. Yeah.
A lot more. I think leading in up to the point that we got knocked out, he had the most shots in the tournament.
Definitely.
So he's up there fighting. We're gonna keep fighting for him.
Yeah. Well, that probably shows that Tati is like a way better player than probably a lot of people assume, is because it's not even that he's playing his best soccer, he's just getting those nods into the starting lineup. Like, he's just like that. He's built like that.
He's just finally getting his chance.
Yeah. And he's taking advantage of it for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, it comes off of Heiberg being injured and not being fully fit, but he's definitely taken it and ran with it.
Yeah.
So I think it's either between Tati or Medina. I'm going Medina simply because he had the moments.
He had the most impact for sure.
Yeah, he had the goals. He played out of his mind in the tournament. I felt like outside of the game or two where he kind of just disappeared. But that's our whole team.
Yeah, well, it's an identical situation to Tati even. Like, it's the same thing. It's not that he's a bad player probably. It's just this is his first legit chance where he's starting game in, game out every time, and he knows that he has a spot. So, it makes sense that he's sort of figured out what he's doing. I think if you put any of these guys in a starting role week in and week out, although we didn't really see that, I think some of the ones that haven't had that previously will probably always ball out to an extent because they know it's their time to shine. So,
I think we skipped past predictions for the Red Bull game.
The Red Bull game, yeah. So I was gonna say we should just run. You have the 6 in front of you right there. I was saying we should just hit all 6
All 6.
and just quick fire.
Right now?
Yeah, go ahead, do yours.
Preview these right now.
No, just like WL, like whatever.
All right.
Like that. Draw, win, loss.
Hartford.
Oh, you're doing the Hartford games?
Oh, you're saying.
I'm saying just hit
phase 1.
Hit the phase 1 games. Just no commentary. Just win, loss, draw. Whatever you think.
All right.
I'll go. I think. So we have Red Bulls, Columbus, Chicago, the Revs, DC United, and FC Cincinnati.
Oh,
So
man.
go on and fire off.
So I'm saying Red Bulls NYCFC 20th. That's a draw. Unfortunately, I don't think that we're fit enough, and they always tend to show up.
You think we're scoring or it's 0-0 type of thing?
1-1 probably.
1-1.
1-1 most likely.
Columbus.
Ronnie on stilts. Columbus comes in and scores 3 on us.
Takes his job.
I'm saying 3-1. Ronnie's gone.
Oh, this
And-
is absolute worst case phase 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because Columbus actually did play pretty
Oh
well.
yeah, they're good.
They played pretty well. And
It's not out of the realm of possibility at
yeah.
all.
And then
Chicago.
I don't know. I just don't. At that point, if
Medi interim, I guess.
yeah, like if we have an interim or something, that's literally where my brain is right now with this team.
This is awfully pessimistic.
But I think even I don't care who's our manager at the moment. I think Chicago and New England are both wins.
I agree.
DC's a way tougher game. That's probably a draw.
Mhm.
And then Cincinnati is probably a draw as well. So
Okay.
I'm saying 2-2-1. Or no. 2-2-1.
1. So either way, draw, loss.
2 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss.
Yeah.
And the losses to Columbus.
Well, I'll tell you what. 6 points in 5 games is an upgrade from 3 points in 5 games.
Yeah.
So, can't be mad at that, I guess.
Look, I mean, it's gonna be tough. That's a tough schedule. Like,
yeah.
it genuinely
Well, I
is.
mean, it's 6 games in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Or, like 3 or 4 weeks, but
I don't see us losing or drawing more than 3 games and Ronnie having a job. But I
Yeah.
just don't know. It just seems like they'll stick with him through phase 1 no matter what, because how hard it's probably going to be to hire somebody, even if it's interim. Like, what's the point of having an interim if you could just have the same coach
yeah,
and
there's
most likely get the same
it's sort of
tactics and everything? It's
just like a waste of operations at that point. I was pretty spot on with how I feel, I guess. I don't know. It's so hard to make a prediction when we've seen two completely different sides to this team. I mean, but we've seen way more
yeah,
of the
that's
bad side.
that's where my
Yeah.
opinion is coming from, because in my brain at this point, the Toronto game is a flash of the pan. Like,
Yep.
it didn't exist.
Yeah,
That team.
we caught them off guard, I think.
Yeah, I think we just, we found a tactic. We surprised them by not playing the same way that we did
The weeks prior.
in the playoffs
Yep.
too. And so, coming out and pressing like that, caught them off guard. We took Bradley out of the game.
Yeah.
Yada, 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 yeah, whatever. We did good one time.
Yep.
Everything else has been disappointment, even when we won against Inter Miami.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, except I think either the DC or the Cincinnati game will probably be a W. I guess I'd like one more W. I'm not sure if we'll do it, but I think 3 out of 6 are wins. The Columbus game is definitely an L, and we are probably definitely tying the Red Bulls.
Or losing. And I hate to say it, but it's like, you see,
They've been bad though.
even though Red Bulls can have their worst season ever, when it comes to the derby,
Yeah.
they're always a different team every
Yeah.
single time. It doesn't matter. It's always happened. I'd love to see us go out and have a win like the one where Jack Harrison scored that really nice goal between Robles' legs, but realistically, seeing our form,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be realistic and say that it's probably going to be a draw at best case.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. So I think that'll probably do it for this one. I think this is probably the sweet spot in terms of length.
Yeah, I mean, just getting in here and going. I don't even know how long this has been, but
like 25 minutes, 26.
Yeah, with the whole power going out and everything, I feel like we got a little off our game, a little rusty, but
absolutely,
we're gonna be back.
Yep.
Doing this more often, even just recording stuff for fun for ourselves, just to get reps in.
Yep.
So we have better content for you guys.
Yep. So we're definitely gonna be doing it more often with this. We have a little upcoming schedule written out here. So probably, well, once it gets closer to the game, so this is gonna come out within the next couple days, probably on Wednesday. Today is Tuesday. Today's Tuesday.
Monday, yeah.
Today's Monday.
Yeah.
So Wednesday the 12th, this is probably gonna come out. And then that following Saturday, the Red Bulls are going to be playing, or Hartford Athletic is going to be playing the Red Bulls too. And then we're going to be recording after that at some point before the 20th to talk about the Red Bulls game that Hartford played, kind of recap that, and then talk about the upcoming New York City game against the Red Bulls, kind of preview that. We are also going to preview Columbus. And then between that, Hartford has another game sprinkled in there against Loudoun and Bethlehem that we're going to try to preview. So, like I was saying earlier, that's like 4 games in 5 days. And then we're going to try to get a recording down to preview those. And then afterwards, we're definitely obviously going to have some type of recap about all of those games. And then obviously moving into the future, preview the ones that are upcoming. So we got a little jam-packed schedule coming up, but you cannot be mad about more soccer being played.
Yeah, I'm super hyped.
Yeah.
So, we got Hartford Athletic to look forward to, NYCFC. Yep. Hopefully, work schedules permitting, we'll be at the Hartford Athletic Pittsburgh game on the 28th. We'll try to make that work and get some more Hartford Athletic content, even if that means, trying to navigate COVID and maybe get some players interviewed or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be so
anything
dope.
that we can do. We're gonna try to do it before the pit game. And other than that, Post 90 Pod on all socials, Twitter, Instagram, everything. That's where you'll find us.
You know it.
I think that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it. Thank you guys.